When you get into headliner, you'll be able to see that there's an article, a very small article that populates. You also have on the left hand side different categories that news source might offer, and then you see all of the titles that are being pulled back. On headliner, these are real quick comprehension checks for you. I personally, in my own study, I like to use these as warm-ups. I'll be able to look at the news, kind of warm up my ears, warm up my eyes, and be able to see in context, am I able to understand what's going on today? In the article spot, you have in bold, you have the title, and in non-bold, you have a summary of the article. You can do this in a couple of different ways. One, you can read it. Two, you can listen to it.
¿Qué supone para la oposición de Venezuela, y para Maduro, el Nobel de la Paz a María Corina Machado? El reconocimiento del Comité Noruego del Nobel trae una bocanada de oxígeno para la oposición venezolana, mientras que incrementa los cuestionamientos hacia el gobierno de Maduro.
And then if you want to listen to it without the text and treat it more as a listening exercise, you can click hide text and you're still able to play the audio. Now, whenever you finish listening or reading or both to the article, you're able to generate questions. Now with the questions, you have several options you can choose from. You click beside on the settings and you're going to get 3 slots. You can use a target language, meaning that all of your questions will be in the language of choice. So in this case, it's Spanish. You're able to show just comprehension questions, which are going to be those fill in the blank questions. Or you can show multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions are going to give you 1 short question and 4 options. So for this example, we're going to keep show comprehension questions and show multiple choice questions on. Once you select your options, you're able to click generate. Let's click generate. You'll see that both sections generate with a question unique to you and a comprehension question unique to you. We're able to go ahead and let's answer these. What does the Nobel Peace Prize recognition for Maria Corina Machado bring to the Venezuelan opposition? I'm going to choose an option. It may or may not be correct. Please answer the following. Based on the provided content, what impact does the Nobel Peace Prize awarded to Maria Corina Machado have on both the Venezuelan opposition and the Maduro government? I'm going to put in an answer. It may or may not be correct, but we're going to say it puts pressure on the Maduro government. Okay, we'll fix that right there. Pressure. Okay, once we do this, we're able to click submit. It's going to go ahead and grade your work. You'll see we did get the first answer right, but it gave us some feedback on our comprehension question. It says your response is inaccurate as the provided content does not mention Maria Corina Machado receiving the Nobel Prize. Additionally, the content explicitly states that the impact on the Venezuelan opposition, which your answer does not address. It gives us some key terms that we can look at. Reconocimiento del Comité Noruego. You can tell I need some work on my Spanish. You can see that we're able to have some key terms that we're able to see down here at the bottom to be able to maybe help our study a little bit better. He went ahead and gave us a 30 out of 100 on this feedback. And you can see at the very bottom, it gives us our total score. One interesting thing that we're able to do in Headliner is we're able to also take words that we don't understand and save them for later on so we can study them on our flashcards. To do this, we can take a word that we don't understand. For this instance, we'll say la oposición. Oh, there we go. Okay, you'll see we got 2 options. We can either add it to our vocabulary or we can copy it. We're going to go ahead and add it to our vocabulary. And right here, you'll see that it translates it for us. So in our vocab words, we have la oposición, the opposition. Now, you can either download this to a CSV if after a study session you want to add it to a third-party app such as Quizlet or Memrise or Anki. But it automatically saves inside of your Lingofi deck, which will be a part of a future video. At any point, if you get confused and you're not sure what to do in headliner, you can go up to the help button. The help button will walk you through the different ways that you can use headliner. And finally, if you want to read the full article, you might be interested in what this is saying, and you want to go ahead and dig farther into your language study utilizing this specific context, whether that's for words or for contextual knowledge or for cultural knowledge. You can go right over here and click read full article, and that will take you to the source of the news article, which in this case is BBC. Now, how do we use this in our study? I've already alluded to a few ways we can use this in our study, but if you are a teacher, how might a teacher utilize this in their study? We've seen it used a couple of different ways. Our first way is warm-up activities. Students can either take the first couple of minutes of class to do a headliner article, check their comprehension, and then once that is done, they're able to talk about it as a class or be able to present the ideas that they learned throughout the news. The second way we've seen this done is teachers will throw this up on the screen, up on their smartboards per se, and be able to do a warm-up exercise all together. The entire class reads it, and the entire class looks at the comprehension question, answers the comprehension questions. They're able to debate some if they don't agree. As for personal study, like I said, I utilize headliner as a really solid warm-up to start my study sessions because it's short content. It allows me to do quick knowledge checks, and it also provides feedback. This really helps me warm up and get my ears loose for listening to be able to make the rest of my study session much better. And then it also helps me stay up to date with what's happening in my target language.